The opening scene of Tengai was so captivating that it grabbed your attention, whether you were a child or doing something else. It's been a while, but I'm going to play Tengai again. This time, I'm going to play as Samurai Ain, a character whose hidden command everyone, young or old, can't help but memorize. The command to select Ain is easy to remember with the 3-3-7 rhythm. From the question mark, press up 3 times, down 3 times, then up 7 times to select Ain. As a hidden character, Ain looks cool and has great abilities. So many friends in my neighborhood always chose Ain. To talk in detail about the character's abilities, the main weapon has a rather narrow vertical range, but the sub-weapon has a piercing attribute and also deals good damage. Also, as the power level increases, the vertical range of the sub-weapon gets wider, so it can cover the main weapon's weakness. And it's the only one with no limit on the sub pattern, so unlike other characters, you can keep using the sub attack. Next is the first reason to choose Ain, the Charge Shot Samurai Flash that I'm spamming right now. The damage is tremendous, but the short charge time allows for continuous sword swinging without stopping. When you swing the sword, the damage isn't dealt all at once, but continuously over about 0.3 seconds, so if the target moves out of range during the attack, you won't be able to deal the full damage. The boss summoned the small unit, but I easily defeated it due to the active charge attack effect. The charge shot's damage is only 40% of Hwagana's, Tenga's strongest, but hitting it 2 or 3 times rapidly could surpass Hwagana's damage. The only downside is that its range is quite short. If you're careless, your power level may drop, and if you're really unlucky, you could lose a life. So for beginners, since the sub-weapon's penetration alone is very effective, I recommend only using the charge shot when you're sure it's safe. For the bomb, when you shout Samurai Sword, a large figure of Ain appears and slashes through the enemies. If a boss gets hit by this even once, most will die. There are exceptions. MK, one's first form, and the final boss can withstand it. But the downside is that the bomb's duration is really short. So it's a bit disappointing to use it just for dodging bullets. Of course, you might want to save it because it feels like a waste to use it just to dodge the biggest damage. The hitbox is the largest among the characters, but since the speed is the second fastest, it's not a big problem. It seems like I'm looking for Asuka at the end of every stage. Asuka, Ain's younger sister, has always been at home without his knowledge. Ain ventures out to defeat villains and find her, which is the single-player story. You can take care of the mid-boss with just 3 sword slashes. You can defeat them before any difficult patterns appear, and I think that's Ain's greatest strength. These medium-sized machines can be eliminated in one shot before they can fire any fast follow-up shots. Doesn't the sound of drawing the sword sound nice? Normal attacks can defeat them, but playing as Ain, I can't resist using the sword. Even if I want to use my sword, the barrage of bullets makes it difficult to get close. The clear speed is really fast. All the tutorial stages are over now, and I've mentioned many times during Baron Kictara that from here on, these are the real stages. You must defeat the 4 Heavenly Kings in sequence from this point. Choi Bungai is easy if you can dodge. Among the 4 Heavenly Kings, except for the leader Enki, the female character Cain is the most troublesome. The bullets she shoots aren't the main issue, it's the small drones she summons that make it challenging. However, if you get rid of them in advance with your sword when she summons them, you can greatly lower the difficulty. Kim Sakato isn't that tough, right? This is the stage boss, Enkim. On page 1, just slash at him when he gets close. It's simpler than you think. On page 2, maintaining distance after the charge attack allows you to quickly destroy summoned wind blades and sustain damage. This is always a stage where I wonder whether I should use my treasure or not. Since the small units fire an enormous number of bullets, you can't even blink your eyes in this section. It's an easy spot to intentionally lower your power level. When you get hit by the hands, you don't lose a life, just your power level drops. Since the higher your power level, the harder the enemies get, there were quite a few people who would intentionally lower their power level. When I was a kid, I used to use bombs non-stop in this section, and it felt good to see the hands get blown away with a single bomb. This boss resembles a frightening Buddha statue. If you line up more or less in a straight line with the orb, you can easily dodge the previous pattern. This page is as tough as a final boss, so handle it swiftly before the pattern emerges. Bullets were fired at a dangerous moment, but fortunately the timing was right and I cleared it. I'm planning to take the second back road. In this section, the ending changes. If you choose the main gate, you'll go home in the ending and meet Asuka. Since there are no characters in this game who think normally, Asuka also shows plenty of psycho-like behavior. The story ends with Baron Appa being executed. If you don't take care of it right away by waiting in advance on the path where the medium-sized enemy appears, you'll have to dodge a ton of bullets. These guys don't go down with a single charge shot and can hold out for quite a while, plus the bullets they shoot are really fast. Keep moving strategically to avoid getting surrounded. It's about time for enemies in forms other than the blue spider to appear, but so far, it's still unclear what conditions trigger them. I've only seen it once so far, and I remember being so startled that I ended up dying. Usually, it's hard to dodge the bullets fired by those coming down from above, so if you're not sure, it's best to shoot upwards and wait. You can handle the first page before recognizing its pattern, so you can confidently cut it without concern. Ain definitely clears stages quickly. I can't believe we're already here. It took about 9 minutes to reach the final stage. Since it's the final stage, there are a lot more minions and projectiles now. Attack with your sword when safe, then attack from a distance. This way you can quickly take down even large opponents. You can take out the flying locusts with a single sword strike, so it's a good idea to deal with them before too many pile up. Once you get through here, the final boss will appear soon. The boss, who is Shomaru's father, will appear as the first phase. Even though it's the final boss, the first phase is really easy. It ends before you even see the patterns. For the second phase, you just need to destroy the big orb with your unit. It only has high health, but it's also really easy. The third phase is the boss's true final form. You can only damage the brain when it's visible, but when the brain isn't showing, you can hit anywhere. When the brain isn't visible, it shoots really fast projectiles. If you get under its chin like this, you absolutely won't get hit. It's more doable than you might think. R-In was the strongest character anyone could choose. Due to his ease of use, he was very popular. When playing with a friend, I remember fighting over who would get to pick him. This has been D-Doll. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like.